Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 12. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Leave a comment, what transfers are you thinking of making for Game Week 12? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, in goal we do have Areola, but we have dropped Turner just as Stevie Cooper has done, and we brought in Strakosha. Now, of course, Flecken does have an injury. I don't know if that's going to be long-term or not. It doesn't look like it, so it's not like Strakosha is going to be like the #1 goalkeeper for Brentford. He's mainly in the squad just because he's a 3.9 mil keeper. Areola is going to be the main goalkeeper that you're playing with. Obviously, like I say, with Turner getting dropped, it's just not really worth having a 4.1 keeper in when you can just save that 0.2 and have a 3.9 mil keeper in instead. So yeah, Areola is just going to be the keeper now. Even though like the defense for West Ham have been pretty poor and they're like bottom 3 for like clean sheets in the league and stuff like that, they do have some really nice fixtures coming up. So for the price point of 4.2, 4.3, whatever you brought him in at, I think it's a relatively decent goalkeeper to have. Obviously there are much better options, like Johnston has been absolutely smashing it right now, and he is a really good option. It's just that we've got a Crystal Palace defender anyway, so it doesn't really make sense to double up on Crystal Palace, because as soon as their fixtures go bad, you're gonna obviously have to deal with them with like transfers and stuff like that. But it's not a bad goalkeeper combination. It saves you a bit of money, and yeah, hopefully Areola can start getting some clean sheets soon, because a lot of people have him and he's just not really been delivering at all. So those are the two goalkeepers. At the back we have Lascelles, we have Gay, we have Tsimikas, Saliba and Kabore. So we do have two 4 mil defenders in this draft, which is a little bit like, it's a little bit of an eyebrow raiser, don't get me wrong, but of course they are both starting, and Kabore did just get that pretty nice haul against Liverpool as well. He won't be getting 8 points every week, and the fixtures for Luton aren't great at all. But he's an attacking wing back. You know, he's pretty much starting every single game. He's good bench fodder to have. So I do like Kabore on the team. As well as that, a lot of people were having like the Burnley defender. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it was like 3.9. He's now 4 mil, so out of him and Kabore, I'd rather go Kabore just because his attacking potential is a lot higher. So that's why we've gone Kabore on this draft. Lascelles is in here as well, just simply because the Botman injury is a lot worse than we initially thought. So I can't see Lascelles dropping his place at all. Another player that you could go with is Livramento or Hall. They're both 4.3, so a little bit more expensive than Lascelles. Now, I wouldn't do it this week because we don't know who's going to be the sure starter. We had Livramento and Hall both playing in the Champions League midweek, and it wasn't really enough information to know who's going to be starting, because it could be like Trippier at left back now and then Livramento or Hall at right back. Could be still Trippier at right back and then Hall or Livramento at left back. Because of that Dan Burn injury, because he's out for like a few months, just like Botman is most likely going to be as well. These cheap Newcastle defenders are like up for grabs, and yeah, the fixtures aren't fantastic. They do of course have Bournemouth away this week, which is obviously really nice. But I mean, he's mainly going to be like on your bench unless they've got a really nice fixture. Like obviously that Everton away fixture, you'd probably be playing him over somebody else. But that's why we've got two 4 mil defenders there. I completely understand if you don't want to do that, because it does kind of put you into having to use a transfer later down the line with somebody like Lascelles. But as of right now, they are both going to be playing, and they're both decent options as well for the bench. The main 3 defenders are Mark Gay, we've got Tsimikas, and we've got Saliba. Tsimikas, that benching was a little bit unfortunate. We'll have to see what happens midweek in the European game. And see if he gets benched there, if he comes off early, something like that. But yeah, Brentford at home is obviously a nice fixture for Tsimikas, and I don't know, I feel like it might have been because of tactical reasons that he got benched against Luton. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I don't think it will happen again. You're not going to be playing him against City anyway. You only really need him for this Brentford game. And then Fulham, Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. Again, it depends when Robertson's back. If he's back like soonish, then obviously it's going to be another transfer. You have to kind of book him for Tsimikas. The good thing about Tsimikas as well is that because of his price point, he's an easy swap to another 4.5 mil defender, whereas Lascelles and Kabore are going to have to find that money elsewhere. So that's why it's not too much of a problem having Tsimikas, because it's usually just going to be the 1 free transfer instead of the 2 free transfers to most likely get rid of Lascelles and Kabore, unless you have money in the bank. I've got just enough money for this draft, so I would obviously have to take somebody else out somewhere else. So yeah, Tsimikas is in there. We've got Mark Gay in there as well, just as the Crystal Palace defender. I do like Anderson more as an option, but between him and Mitchell, they're both 4.6. I've got Mark Gay just because Mitchell did have an early sub I don't think it wasn't the last game week, it was the game week before, whereas Mark Gay's been like 90 minutes. So even though Mitchell did just get that massive haul in a game week where, to be fair, the 15 points that Mitchell got probably was more than a lot of players got in their actual overall score, I do still like Gay as an option. Obviously, if Mitchell hadn't have scored in the last game week, he wouldn't have had the price rise, and I probably would have gone Mitchell anyway, just because he would have been a little bit cheaper. But either way, we've got Mark Gay, and then also we've gone Saliba. Gabriel is another option you could go with over Saliba, but the only problem is he's not like 100% nailed. Like, he should be, but you never know. Like, he has had a couple of benchings throughout the season, which obviously you don't really want paying 4.8 for a defender. He is obviously cheaper than Saliba, but like I say, the extra 0.4 is getting you that like definite starts for Saliba, who's not going to miss a game unless he gets like injured or something like that. So yeah, with the fixtures that Arsenal have got coming up as well, I just really like an Arsenal defender in there. The Arsenal attackers also haven't been that great, and I do see people like doubling up on Arsenal defense, and I do quite like that. I don't think it's bad at all. They're like, XGC is like really good, and like I say, the forwards are kind of underperforming a little bit. But either way, that is the back line for this wildcard draft. In midfield, we do have Saka, Salah, Son, Bowen, and Matoma. I do really like this midfield. If you can't afford it, then obviously you could go with somebody else like Gordon maybe instead of Matoma, or Gordon instead of Bowen or something like that, which would save you a lot of money. I just think that Bowen's been in really good form lately, especially in the away fixtures as well. He just seems to keep scoring in the away fixtures. He did actually just have a price rise as well. I think he's 7.5 now, he is. So he's a little bit more expensive than what he originally was, but I do still really like him as an option, and I think he should be on wildcard drafts just with the fixtures that they've got coming up. Yeah, if he was on penalties, it would be absolutely incredible, an absolute steal. But yeah, Bowen for 7.5 I still think is a really nice option, and that's why he's in this wildcard draft. Mitoma's got Sheffield United at home this week, which is obviously a very nice fixture. I still wouldn't go anywhere near the Brighton defense. They haven't kept a clean sheet all season, and as well as that, they just can't keep the ball out of the back of the net. That's just really the real reason. And if I was going to go for a defender, it'd be Estepinian, but obviously he's still out, so I just don't really like any of the options for Brighton's defense. Matoma, I think, is all you really need. Like, João Pedro up front, still a benching headache as well. We'll have to see what happens midweek with the European fixtures and stuff like that, but I just like Matoma as, I think, the best Brighton option to have, really, out of all the different options you could have. Son's still in this draft as well. Now, I think that Son's kind of potential is definitely lowered a bit now with all the injuries they've just had, as well as the red cards. Like, they've lost their centre backs. Udogi's got a red card. They've obviously had the injury to Maddison as well. I don't know what Maddison's going to be like. Hopefully he's fit, because if they lost Maddison, that would be a massive problem as well. Richarlison also has to have surgery as well. So, you know, Spurs have really just lost a lot of players like overnight. It's been very unlucky. And so yeah, so obviously Spurs, well, Son, more importantly, his potential is going to be a little bit lower, but he still is a really nice option. Should be on penalties as well if Spurs finally get one. And yeah, so that's why we've gone Sonny still on this draft. I do think he's still a really good option, even if Spurs are a little bit weakened at the moment. Salah is also, of course, in this draft. Yeah, just obviously just doing really well every single week, apart from obviously last week, but everybody did bad last week. Brentford at home coming up. I know City away is a tough fixture, but Salah loves scoring against City. And then after that, they've just got some really nice fixtures coming up. So, yeah, for Liverpool players, I think that Salah and Tsimikas are the best two options to have. I know that Darwin Núñez as well is a good option to have, but he just can't seem to hit a barn door at the moment. So I don't think you necessarily 100% need him, but you could go for Darwin Núñez over somebody like Watkins or something like that. I've also got Saka in this draft. Now, he has definitely been underperforming, but I think that is due to the fact that Odegaard's been out and Jesus has been out, which obviously has been affecting his game. So you never know. I mean, Burnley at home is obviously a really nice fixture, and they do have some really good fixtures coming up after that as well. So I would still have Saka in there. Should be on penalties still too. But apart from that, yeah, I do really like this midfield, and I think it's very solid going into the next few game weeks. And then up top, we do have Archer, Watkins, and Haaland. So yeah, Haaland has now been fit. Obviously, he did score a brace in the Champions League, so why couldn't he have done that in the last game week against Bournemouth? But it is what it is. But yeah, he's absolutely fine now. Also, if you do own Matty Cash, he's been pictured in training. He's not on this draft, though, because really, like, I mean, you could have him on the draft. You could also have somebody like Pau Torres if you wanted to, because obviously Fulham at home is a nice fixture. Spurs away is going to be a nice fixture just because of how badly damaged the Spurs starting lineup has been. And then they've got Bournemouth away, but then after that they've got like City and Arsenal. It's not really a player you need, and Matty Cash is quite expensive. I'd rather go Saliba over Matty Cash personally right now, but you know, if you do own him, and obviously you're just watching this just to get some like transfer ideas, yeah, he has been pictured in training, so he should be okay. We'll have to see what happens in the European fixtures. But yeah, Watkins is in this draft as well. You could obviously get rid of him for Darwin Núñez if you want to do and just triple up on Liverpool. I don't mind that at all, especially with the fixtures Liverpool have got coming up. It's just like, will he get benched, stuff like that. And then also Archer is in this draft as well for 4.5. So yeah, as you can see, obviously I can only just afford it. There might be a couple of other players that you can't afford. Like obviously I bought in Bowen cheaper, and maybe like if that's the case and you want to bring Bowen in, you might have to downgrade Saliba to Gabriel and save that point for. But yeah, this is the wildcard draft that I would go with if I was on one for game week 12. I do quite like it, and it does set you up really nicely for the next load of game weeks. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like down below, leave a comment with your thoughts on this wildcard draft for game week 12. Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. So everything from me, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.